Hello and welcome. I am ESL Teacher and this is my 5th grade Oasis channel. I've been a teacher for more than 20 years and I've taught gen ed and bilingual classes as well. In today's video, I would like to share with you some tips related to teaching non-English speaking students. If you are a new teacher or new to 5th grade, know that throughout the school year, you may get non-English speaking students. And of course, if your school is one that has a lot of those, then you probably have a bilingual program. Then of course, it's super easy for students to acclimate and to work and be successful. But if you work in a school that does not have a bilingual program because there's only a few students who need ESL instruction, then you as a teacher has the task to help these students succeed in your class. The progress of a non-English speaking student will depend on several things. For example, age. The younger they are, the easier it will be for them to adjust to English and to a new language in school. But the older they are, maybe it's a little bit tougher in some ways. But if they already know how to read and write in their first language, then it's easier because all they're going to be doing is translanguaging that mechanics of readings that they already know how to use and then use the English language for that. The first tip that I suggest you do when you have a non-English speaking student is to be friendly and welcoming. Students who just arrived from other countries have been through a lot. Not only they left their family and friends, maybe they have been through difficulties in their countries, such as war, hunger, poverty. Many of these kids maybe spend many hours flying or in a boat to get here. And of course, it's not their fault. Many of them are scared. And probably you as a teacher can be anxious if you don't speak the second language. If you don't speak Spanish or Mandarin or Arabic, then it's going to be hard for you as well. And you may be feeling anxious about how are you going to do with this new student? How am I going to teach science and social studies to a student who does not even know how to say, hi, how are you? And not only that, many of these students that come from other countries did not even go to school over there because laws in other countries may be different than our laws, or maybe they live too far away from school. So they might be 10-year-old in physical age, but academically, they're still at a first kindergarten level. It will take patience, but it can be done. It takes time for a second language learner to adjust their ear to their new language. When you speak your native language, you do it quickly. You're not thinking about anything. You're just speaking. But you should speak clearly, slowly, and use lots and lots of body language. Body language is the key when you're learning a new language. So when you say something, try to use the gesture for it, at least in the beginning, so that the student get used to it. You also have to use tons of visuals in your class. Do not just tell them how something in science works from a book. They are not going to understand it right away from reading a paragraph. You will have to put a visual that goes with it. So everything you do in your class, you should have visuals for it or a video. My next tip has to do with assigning a buddy to your new student. Maybe you have students who are already bilingual and they can help each other out. So assign the student a buddy. Also, if you have an ESL teacher at your school, you can work together with that ESL teacher so you guys can come up with a plan of what is the best way to help. My next tip is that you should invite parents to the classroom. You can introduce yourself and you can talk to the parents to see how you're going to work with communication. You can tell the parent that you will communicate with them maybe through some sort of document that you can use Google Translate, and you can translate for the parents important information from the school. You may also ask the parents a bit about the culture, where they're from, and maybe you can even learn a few words from that language of them so they can feel very welcome. They'll be very surprised if you start learning 1 or 2 words that are from their language. They're really gonna love you. Also remember that not all cultures are the same. You may have 3 or 4 students from different countries, and even though those countries speak the same language, for example, you can have a student from Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, and Puerto Rico, and all those countries speak Spanish. However, their cultures are totally different. So do not generalize just because a few students speak the same language. That doesn't mean they have the same culture. Another tip is that you can use some internet programs or computer programs for students to practice more English on their own. Maybe when it's small group time, you can have those particular students who don't speak English yet, sit them in the computer, or they can put their headphones on and start practicing with some sort of learn English tool or app. My next tip is with your classroom. You should be labeling things in your classroom. You label everything in your classroom, from a chair to a desk to notebooks, pencils, where the students can visually see the picture of it and the word. Little by little, by seeing that every single day, then you can remove them later on and the student will know the name. The more they see the printed word with the picture, eventually they will learn it without having to look at the word. My final tip is that you do not discourage the students from keep on using their native language. Bilingual persons or trilingual persons are super smart people, and just because you're not able to speak their language, or just because me as a teacher I'm not able to speak Mandarin, I'm not gonna discourage a student from speaking it when you may even have in your classroom library books in that language. Have some material in your classroom so the student feel that their language is also valuable, and just because they're becoming bilingual, it doesn't mean that they're going to forget about their native language. All languages are beautiful. They are just learning that now where they live, we speak a different one as well, so you are going to use both of them. Well, there you have it. Those are my tips for teaching non-English speakers. Tell me about your experience down in the comments below. Have you ever worked with no native speakers? How did it go for you? Please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. See you soon.